Akron Athletics and the Wentz Financial Group present Zips Weekly with John Groce. Contributing sponsors: Hilton Akron Fairlawn, Bryant Heating and Cooling, and Regency Office Furniture. And now your host, Joe Dunn.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to a brand new edition of Zips Weekly with head basketball coach John Groce, brought to you each week by Bud Wentz and everybody at the Wentz Financial Group. Well, a lot to talk about today, and it is all good. The Zips with two big wins last week. Tuesday night at Bowling Green, then they put 104 points on Eastern Michigan in a home game on Friday night. Coach, right now you're 11-6, 3-1 in the Mid-American Conference. Great week last week. Congratulations.
No, thanks, right? Obviously, we got two great results, Joe, with the two wins. But I think more importantly, we're getting a little healthier. Castaneda's getting healthier. We were able to put Clark out there on Friday night in the Eastern game. You know, so he was able to get some minutes and practice for the first time last week in really a month. Yeah. And so that's number one. And then number two, I think we're really growing. I think our chemistry, especially offensively, is getting better. And then our defense has kind of been, holding the fort down, although I'm seeing some improvements there as well. So I do think we're growing and improving as a basketball team.
When you look back at this week, Coach, two totally different games. A nail-biter over at Bowling Green on Tuesday, then you put 104 points on Eastern Michigan on Friday.
They're all different, Joe. Yeah. Every single one of them. You got to play the one that's in front of you. But I will tell you, it's interesting. I shared with the guys after we beat Bowling Green that I thought we had played maybe even better the first 34 minutes of the game in Muncie at Ball State a week ago than we did the first 34 minutes at Bowling Green. Sure. The difference was we were able in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the Bowling Green game to really come together, show great poise, execute late, had great leadership, and make enough plays to win it. But I thought that we had played really well the first 34 in Muncie, just didn't close.
Yeah, you're right. Well, let's go back up to the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University, pick up highlights from that big win Tuesday night. And, Coach, it starts out pretty good basketball game. You're up, I think, 8-7, 5 minutes into the game, but then you play from behind most of that first half. Yeah,
I really thought it's interesting. Got off to a great start, like you just said, Joe. Then they kind of popped us in the mouth there for the middle part of the first half. And then at the very end of the half, we started trapping more. We trapped ball screens. We were running and jumping a little bit. We were trapping the post. And the next thing you know, it created some turnovers, Joe, that got us out in transition, got us some easy baskets, and now all of a sudden it's game on. I thought the way we closed the first half at Bowling Green was huge and put us in position then to play a quality second half.
Yeah, I think you were down as much as 9 points, Coach. I think there's only 3 minutes left in the first half. You're down 33-24.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to, right? Yeah. The turnovers. We were able to force some turnovers with our activity, our active hands, our trapping, and got some easy ones that allowed us to bridge that gap and go into the half with some momentum.
You came out in that 1-3-1 zone defense. We'll see that a little bit later. Then you had Sammy Hunter up on top of that zone at 6'9". That seemed to work.
Yeah, he's played it before at the previous place he was at Ole Miss. He had played that. In fact, that coach and I are friends, and actually before we even got Sammy, we were playing that defense. So Sammy's used to playing it, is very good at it. We put him on top. You're exactly right, Joe, at 6'9", and then of course you have Enrique in the middle of it, who's 6'7", 6'8", but plays bigger than what he is with his wingspan and his length.
Yeah, we're watching the closing minutes of the first half. The Zips are going to go on a 12-3 run to end the first half, and Sammy Hunter with a big three-pointer right at the end of the first half. He beats the buzzer, and all of a sudden you're tied 36-36.
Yeah, tie game, right? Yeah. From a 9-point deficit with 3 or 4 minutes to go to a tie game. I thought it was the biggest part of the game that really ended up giving us an opportunity to win it in the second half was the closing 4 minutes of the first half.
What does that do to a team, Coach, like Bowling Green? They're up, and all of a sudden somebody hits a three, and you go in, you lose your momentum. You're tied all of a sudden at 36.
Yeah, no question. I think obviously it gave us the momentum, and they had really played better than us for the majority of the first half. But that ending to the half, we always talk about, Joe, starts and finishes to halves, both first half and obviously the second half as well. And obviously the finish to the first half was huge for us.
You give Sammy the start in the second half, and He comes out and it's a three-pointer, and all of a sudden you're in the lead early.
Yeah, guys did a great job on our after timeout plays. We drew up 3 or 4 things there that we executed, and in this particular game, it worked in our favor. We were able to score. I thought those were critical as well, especially when you're talking about a 2-possession win.
Well, there were a number of big plays in this game in the second half, Coach, especially in the final 10 minutes. We can talk about those, I think, for the next half hour. But Castaneda with that dribble drive, I think that finally gave us the lead. Then he hits an off-balance 3 late to give us the lead. Series of big plays.
I thought he was really tough, Joe. It was his first game back, really. Didn't play the first 2 league games with the wrist. And I would say you and I talked about this off the air.
Yeah.
He was about 80% at Bowling Green. I think he was a little bit better on Friday night against Eastern Michigan. And as we move forward, I expect him to continue to improve and more and more. But just to have him out there, Joe, his leadership, his experience, his playmaking, I thought was huge at Bowling Green.
I think with 2:08 left, I think that's the dribble drive by Castaneda maybe to tie the game. And there he is going in for well, that's Freeman on that right block to give you some points.
Enrique right now is playing at a really, really high level. We talked about him last week. I mean, you can just continue to keep talking about him from what he's doing for us offensively, defensively, rebounding, leadership, teammate. Like, he's got all the bells and whistles. So, I think he's certainly one of our league's better players and, one of the country's. I mean, he's been terrific and has really impacted our program in a multitude of ways.
We're in the final minute of play, 53 and a half seconds left. We're up 71-70. You call a timeout maybe to set up that final defense on their final possession.
Yeah, we got a big stop late, obviously a couple big stops late. I thought Nate Johnson had a critical switch on an action they ran late in the game, which was great for a freshman to see him do that, recognize that, make the play that we needed to make. And then right there you see him come up with a big rebound for us to seal the game.
Looking at this final possession, there's kind of a forced shot, and here comes Nate Johnson with that rebound, and Coach, you win it 74-70. That's a big win. Anytime you get one on the road, that's big.
They're all hard to get right in league play, no matter who's playing, when you're playing, or where you're playing. But certainly more challenging on the road, and anytime you can get one on the road, I always tell the guys, let's try to get on the bus and get out of town before they change the score.
There you go.
So it was a good win for us.
It sure was. 74-70, the Zips win on the road at Bowling Green. We're going to take a break. Akron's going to come back on Friday night. Big home crowd, a lot of enthusiasm Friday night. Eastern Michigan's in town. We'll talk about that and watch the highlights right after this.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Choice Air HVAC. Find them at choiceairwithane.com.
Okay, welcome back to Zips Weekly as we get set to look at highlights from this past Friday night's home game against Eastern Michigan. Nice crowd, a lot of enthusiasm. Eastern's in town, and Coach, you start Sammy Hunter. He gets to start against Eastern.
Yeah, played well, as you alluded to, Joe, at the end of the Bowling Green game and really throughout the Bowling Green game, and just continues to gain more and more confidence as he's out there playing at both ends of the floor. So is Hankerson, who you saw there make that shot on the clips. But these guys are really starting to evolve. I like our chemistry. We talked about that at the beginning, of the show. But I thought we got off to a great start. Phenomenal environment. AK Rowdies were great.
Yep.
All the other students that came that aren't Rowdies, they were also great. They were loud. They were into the game. We had a great crowd, national television, and a good showing for the Zips.
The one thing that impressed me, Coach, and I'm sure you, was the type of defense we played in the first half. I think Eastern in the first half only shot 31% from the field. Monty Bates was a very heralded player from Eastern Michigan. you trapped him, doubled him, and did a good job on him.
We did. And obviously, Greg Tribble, and I keep saying it, very smart, multi-positional, unbelievable what the kid's been able to do for us over a 3 or 4 year period. I think he's one of the best defenders in the entire league. You know, we put him as the primary cover on Bates. There you see him driving it and scoring. Smart, tough, really, multi-positional, not only offensively. Most people, when I say that, think offense, Joe. Yeah. I'm talking defense. That kid can guard 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and did a great job for us.
Coach, from the middle of the first half until the remainder of the game, I thought you completely dominated. I mean, it was.
Yeah,
it was
we got out in transition. You see it here. Tavari Johnson to Reek on the rim run. Pocket pass, Johnson to Reek. You know, I thought our offense was really clicking. I thought we took good shots. I thought we moved the ball. I thought we played with purpose. And then, as you mentioned, Joe, our defense has continued to be really steadfast. We've had 4 league games now, and through 4 league games, every team's played 4, all 12 of us. We have the number 1 ranked defense in the league in league games, number 2 overall through 17 games. So that's a big deal here. We take a great deal of pride in that as our offense is evolving with our new players and really starting to pick up steam.
You were up 46-26 at halftime, Coach. What do you tell your team? You're dominating, just no let-up, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, you got to continue to play what's in front of you. We knew they were down 17 at home to Central Michigan in their rivalry game a week ago and came back and won by 6. You know, went plus 23. So, you know, we know what teams are capable of. We have respect for our opponents. When you don't do that, you get knocked on your butt pretty quick in this league. So we know that. I've got some older guys. We have great leadership. They know that every game is different. You got to play the possession that's in front of you.
It was good to see Trendon Hankerson come out. He hit a couple of big threes in the second half, and he's starting to shoot it really pretty well.
He is getting in a groove, right? We knew Hankerson and Hunter, they can do that. It's a matter of getting used to, new coach, new city, new school, new system, new terminology. And sometimes it'll take a little bit of time. Give those guys credit. They're such great teammates. They've done a nice job of fitting in, and now they're starting to figure it out a little bit, and that's only helping our team. They've had it for a while defensively. What's really evolved, I think, Joe, is their comfortability on the offensive end.
Bates finally got his first field goal, Coach, I think 7.5 minutes into the second half, so he really wasn't a factor.
Yeah, and that was really our team defense, and there were other guys that covered him. Hankerson had him at times, but again, the primary cover was Greg Tribble. He typically takes the other team's best guy night in, night out. And really, it's great for us. We could put Hankerson on somebody like that, Nate Johnson, Castaneda, obviously depending on position. So we've got a lot of really good individual defenders, and I think those guys are starting to figure out how it all fits together within the framework of our team defense.
So Nate Johnson with the dunk, and there's Amani Lyles, 10 points, 5 fouls. You can't say he wasn't active.
No, it was impressive. I told him after the game, I don't know if I've ever seen a guy foul out in 10 minutes or less playing time. That was really impressive.
You got a plus, Coach, I thought, because the final 7 minutes, I don't think there was a starter on the floor. All your guys are going to need for depth the rest of the season got to play a lot of minutes.
Yeah, that we were able to get Clark in. He was prescribed 8 minutes. He had restriction on minutes. We got him in. I thought that was huge. Some other guys got a chance, as you're mentioning, Joe, as you see the finishing highlights here, an opportunity to play and get game reps. So I thought that was important. And then the third thing, as you just mentioned, our heavy minute guys were able to play a little bit less than normal, which gives them a chance to recover.
Yeah, Zips win that basketball game 104-67, 3-1 in the Mid-American Conference. 2 more big games this week, both on the road, both in the state of Michigan. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. We're going to take a break. When we come back, our players of the week and our player on the rise. Don't go away. We're back after this timeout.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we do not have a cookie cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. Investment management for your lifetime.
At the University of Akron, you have opportunity. Opportunity to be transformed through learning in our more than 200 in-demand degree programs. Opportunity to gain lifelong talents in the classroom, the studio, the lab, and in the community. And the opportunity to be a leader because of those who will support you here. At the University of Akron, you'll find your opportunity to reach greater heights. Here, everyone rises.
Okay, something new on Zips Weekly. We always have our Player of the Week awards. We have our Player on the Rise. And Coach, for the first time in the history of the program, we've got co-players of the week.
Yeah, it was a tough vote.
It
right? It
was
was a split between our media relations director, Brian Dennison, and Chad Welker, our executive producer, and we just kept debating it. So we finally decided, let's do something we haven't done before. They both played really well, and let's go with Castaneda and Freeman. So we have two players of the week this week, and well-deserved.
They are. I'll tell you, let's start with Enrique Freeman, the junior out of Cleveland. Coach, what a week. Bowling Green, 21 points, 16 rebounds. Came back Friday against Eastern Michigan, 20 points, 9 more rebounds, 19 out of 21 in free throws for the week.
Unbelievable week. I mean, obviously, I've been saying this about him, and, you know, what more can you say about the kid? But the reality of it is, and I did say this after the game to his mother, who's a great, great lady, that his best quality, he has a ton of them, is his humility.
Yes.
He's so humble, and that allows him to grow and keep getting better at such an accelerated rate, which we've all seen over the last 2 to 3 years. Right. So, phenomenal week for him. We needed every point, rebound, and shot that he affected at the rim all week to get the 2 wins. So, kudos to Enrique.
Our other co-player of the week, no surprise. How about Xavier Castaneda coming back from a wrist injury? I'll tell you, Coach, it was good to see him back on the floor. He responded, 2 outstanding games, 13 points, 5 assists, 2 steals. Bowling Green, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists versus Eastern Michigan. Also made 11 out of 12 free throws against Eastern Michigan. He is a special player.
No, he really is, and he brings a toughness to our team. There's very few guys that I've coached in my career that are as competitive as X. You know, if he was in here right now with you and I, Joe, playing whatever, euchre, he's trying to kick your tail.
Yeah.
You know, like he just loves to compete. That's who he is. And his competitive toughness in a good way wears on our team and really elevates our team and his teammates.
Our player on the rise, no surprise. How about Sammy Hunter, the transfer out of the Bahamas? And boy, did he have a great shooting week, Coach. And it's good to see him finally become the player everybody was expecting. He's going to be a good one.
We've seen it in practice. You and I have talked about this, but for him to actually go do it in the game or games this week, right, at both Bowling Green and then at home against Eastern was tremendous. Shot it well, thought he was active on the glass, had a great mojo or vibe about him, looked confident. Got to continue to build on that because obviously if he gives that to our team consistently, we're a completely different team.
Had a chance to talk to him on our post-game show a few games ago, and boy, really an impressive young man.
Oh, he's great. Got a great family. Sammy's a great teammate. Love having him, love his energy, love his vibe. He's always positive. Really, really happy for him that he started to play up to his capabilities last week in terms of shot making. And then the other areas are really coming along as well.
I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of Enrique and Sammy together now. Maybe they don't start. They'll play a lot of minutes together.
Yeah, they will for sure. You know, obviously we've got different ways that we can go. You've seen it, Joe. We can play 4 guards. We can play a wing at the 4. We can play a big at the 4 like Sammy and go big ball. So our team gives us a lot of versatility.
Can he post up too, Coach? He likes to face the basket with the 3, but how is he posting up on the block? Yeah,
he's good. I mean, obviously, I think teams are going to start to switch, some of his pick and rolls, Joe, to prevent 3-point shots, the way he's shooting it right now. So that'll be something we'll have to take a look at. Obviously, if you switch and put a 6-foot guard on him, he's 6'9", and can shoot over the top of those guys. So, you know, I think he potentially could have more of those opportunities coming up.
There you go. Well, congratulations to all 3 of our special players. As we said, the Zips on the road this week, going up to Central Michigan on Tuesday, then an afternoon game over at Kalamazoo, Michigan on Saturday. That'll be a 2:30 tip-off. We're coming back and take a look at those 2 teams right after this.
The difference with Wentz Financial Group is that we did not have a cookie-cutter answer to any of our clients' needs. Every day is completely different in the market, and every client situation is unique. We value the opportunity and responsibility to manage the hopes and dreams of our 3,000 customers nationwide.
Come see the difference Wentz Financial Group can make for your financial future. Wentz Financial Group. investment management for your lifetime.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
it takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Choice Air HVAC. Find them at choiceairwithanE.com.
Well, the Zips become the Road Warriors this week. 2 games up in the state of Michigan beginning Tuesday night up at Mount Pleasant against a good Central Michigan team. That'll be a 7:30 tip-off. And, Coach, you're coming off a big one, an overtime win on Saturday against Buffalo at home.
They are a huge win. And what's interesting watching them, Joe, is they've probably been hit by injuries about as much as anybody. So Boopy Miller, who was the freshman of the year last year, or on the all-freshman team, hasn't played since Game 5, okay? Then you've got Zarzuela, who's their best perimeter scorer, who's played in 3 of the last 5, and when he's played, they've beaten Michigan, Miami, and Buffalo. When he hasn't played, they've lost. Then they've developed this big guy, Marcus Harding, in those guys' stead since they've been out, so they started playing more inside out. Well, then he gets hurt before the Buffalo game, so now he's out. Is he playing this week? We don't know. So they've been all over the place with the injuries, and I've been there before. I've had a season or 2 like that. We've been hit by it this year. With Castaneda 2 games, Clark for a month, Michael Dawson out for the year. It's all part of it, but it's hard to get a beat on them because they play so differently with Zarzuela in versus out, Harding in, who's their big guy, versus out. So we got to be ready for them throwing it inside. We got to be ready for their guard play. And it'll be a great challenge on Tuesday night in Mount Pleasant.
Exactly. We saw a little bit of what the Chippewas could be at the tail end of last year. They came into Akron and almost beat us on that last possession. Then up in Cleveland, they about knocked off Toledo up there.
Yeah, no, Tony does a really good job. They're super physical. I know we talked about Ball State being like that, right? And that night in Muncie, both teams had 20-plus fouls, okay? I don't know if it'll go that direction on Tuesday, but they're really physical on the backboard. Really physical posting up, especially if Harding plays. Stoffel's that way too. Poveret's that way too. You know, they've got some guys in there that are really, really, really physical. Great on the glass. We'll have to compete on the backboard.
They got a transfer from Coppin State. It's really good. Zarzuela, I guess, 29 points against Buffalo.
He's terrific. He's at 29 in the Buffalo win, 19 in the Miami win, 19 in the Michigan win.
Then on Saturday afternoon, the Zips go to Kalamazoo, Michigan. That'll be a 2:30 tip-off against Western Michigan. Watch the tail end of their big win the other day against Bowling Green. They were down, I think, 11 at the half and came back, and I had to double-check this. I think they put 62 points on the board in the second half.
They did, and Lamar Norman, right, he scares the heck out of you. And let's talk about how Central competed last year when we played against them. Western here, we had to come back from a 10-point deficit with 2 minutes to go to win the game and then lost at Western. We very easily could have been swept last year by Western. Okay, so and they got a lot of guys back. Hastings, terrific rebounder, Butler transfer. Lamar Norman was the leading scorer in the league last year. Duquesne transfer. Trey Maddox has been added to their team. Cal State Fullerton transfer. So they're old, they're experienced. Dwayne Stevens, first-year head coach, I've known for a while. He's going to do a great job. Came from Michigan State and the Tom Izzo tree.
They've won 2 in a row. They beat Eastern Michigan, then a big win over Bowling Green. So 2 big games up in Michigan, Coach. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you. The challenge is Joe, obviously those are 2 of the longer trips in the league back-to-back. You typically don't see that. So we've got to really manage this week really, really well. And you said it. Got to be Road Warriors.
For head coach John Groce, I'm Joe Dunn. Thanks for watching. Back here next week with more University of Akron basketball. And as always, go Zips.
Thanks for watching Zips Weekly with John Groce. Presented by Akron Athletics and the Wentz Financial Group. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Zips.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.